galactic date 20XX.
Alright, and they're off. So we start off pretty slow. Day one is just kind of like a tutorial day, of course. Charlie's meeting up with these yellow Pikmin and they're teaching you how to throw Pikmin, how to call Pikmin, all the basic gameplay mechanics. Not a whole lot of variance here in day one. We should expect our runners to still be pretty even after day one. It looks like they're pretty dead even going into Alf's section. So now we're moving on to Alf's section where we meet a red Pikmin, and so we start this section with only a couple Pikmin. We start with 4, and we need to grow a lot more Pikmin to get out of day one here. So first we gotta build this bridge, and so it's actually a little faster to sort of push these Pikmin along. The leaf Pikmin that we start with are a little slow, so our runners are going to be pushing these Pikmin along to help speed up building this bridge a little bit. And then of course whistling and throwing the Pikmin back to the bridge pieces is faster than letting them just run back themselves. So on the other side of this bridge, our runners will find a lot of pellets and enemies that they'll be using to grow more Pikmin. Yeah, the more Pikmin you have, of course, the more you're able to do at once. So we want to grow as many Pikmin as we can. By the end of day one, both of our runners should have 21 Pikmin. You only need 20 to push this box, but it doesn't really cost you any time to grow that extra 1 Pikmin. Looks like Ronald is pulling slightly ahead here. Yeah, so both of these runners are really good players. I believe they're both in the top 5 or close. Let me double check that actually. So, yeah, Ronald's PB is a 42 minutes, and Jay's is 41, I believe. So these runners are both very high-level players. You should see some really good gameplay from both of them. So now we just need to break down this wall, and then we'll be out of day one. So going into day 2, there's going to be a lot happening really quickly. Our runners are going to have to grow a lot more Pikmin, and while they're doing that, build a bridge and destroy some gates that will help them advance on. So the beginning of day 2 really tests your ability to multitask well. And, we'll see if Ronald will be able to pull even farther ahead, or if Jay will be able to catch up. So Ronald is ahead by about, 4 or 5 seconds it looks like, but this is still quite a close race so far. Plenty of the game left to go for Jay to catch up, or for Ronald to pull ahead even more. So right off the bat, after calling all our Pikmin out, we're gonna start breaking down this wall immediately. There's some bridge pieces behind it that we need to get to. And also, our runners are gonna be tossing Pikmin across the stream over to here to break down this wall. This won't help us out right away, but it will. We'll have these Pikmin working on this gate while we're building the bridge to it, so ideally the bridge will be finished right around the time that we get to it. Now we're just growing some more Pikmin and finishing building that bridge. Optionally, our runners can build this butterfly for one more Pikmin, but it's not required. One Pikmin difference can be quite a bit when you're only at like 20 versus 21, but it doesn't really make all that big of a difference when you're talking about like 60 versus 61 Pikmin. So right here, our runners are flowering our Pikmin with this nectar. And flower Pikmin go a lot faster than Pikmin. They carry stuff twice as fast. And they're also able to catch up to the captains when they are running. Like leaf Pikmin do slightly lag behind. So now we're heading into the Rock Pikmin cave. We got one enemy to deal with here, and then we need a Rock Pikmin. The Rock Pikmin are going to be pretty important in this run. They're used to break these crystals that you see in this cave here. They're also used to break crystal walls. More importantly for right now, we need them to rescue Brittany. We're gonna harvest that corpse and grow up to 14 rocks. And move on to rescue Brittany. So this strawberry here that our runners just collected, it's not strictly required, but you do need a certain amount of juice to survive until the end of the game. You only start with enough juice to survive for 3 days. So our runners are going to need to collect some fruits to be able to survive long enough to finish the run. And as this fruit is right in the way, it's prime candidate for our first fruit to collect. So once we break this crystal gate, here behind the landing site, we'll be well on our way to our first boss fight. This is the Armored Maudad. That'll be coming up in just a minute here. So we throw all our Pikmin across this stream because we need all of them to fight the Armored Maudad. And so the way this fight works is the boss has armor that's made of crystal that you need to smash with rock Pikmin. And so the fastest way to deal with him is to just break off one chunk of it right on his tail and then charge that with red Pikmin. So the rock Pikmin, while they're great at smashing stuff, they can't actually latch on and do damage over time. So for doing a lot of damage on bosses, you really want to use your red Pikmin. So the crystal armor takes 5 rocks. Both of our runners seem to opt to take 6 rocks just for that little bit of safety. Ronald's slightly messing it up. Not getting the break right away. Jay breaks the tail instantly, so Jay might be making up a little bit of time on this boss fight. And it looks like Jay is caught up and the runners are basically tied coming out of Maudad. So at this point, we just need to collect this phone and end the day. And once the phone gets moving, there isn't really anything else you can do to speed up or slow down the day. I guess you could slow it down, but there's nothing else you can do to speed it up. So while we're waiting, we're just gonna throw a few more reds and try to flower as many Pikmin as we can, because again, having as many flower Pikmin as possible is ideal, as they are faster than these. Ooh, and it looks like Ronald didn't quite have 20 to grab on that phone, so it looks like Jay's gonna slightly pull ahead coming out of day 2 here. Alright, so we're coming up on day 3, and day 3 has one of the biggest sequence breaks of the run. I saw both of our runners practicing Yellow Onion Skip earlier, so I'm hoping that we'll see both of our runners going for it in this race. So, normally, what happens at the beginning of day 3 is Brittany lands in this cave with the yellow Pikmin, and you have to grow 20 yellow Pikmin to get out of the cave. But as it turns out, you can actually walk out of bounds, and you can escape the cave early without ever activating the yellow onion. And ideally, this trick will save about a minute, but the downside is that after day 3, you can never use yellow Pikmin again for the rest of the run. And there are a couple other weird side effects that we'll see later on if our runners opt to go for this. The other thing in day 3 is there's a big out of bounds that lets you go straight to the boss fight. You skip a whole lot of stuff that's supposed to happen on day 3. Pretty much everything that was intended to be done on day 3 was just skipped. Alright, and Jay's the first to land on day 3. We'll see if he goes for yellow onion skip. So what you have to do is walk along this wall here, and if you're a little off, you might fall all the way down. And it looks like both of our runners got past it. Excellent. And now they have to walk along this route in just the right way so they can get over it. Perfect. Both of our runners successfully complete yellow onion skip. Looks like Ronald's pulled ahead just a little bit here. And now there's a bunch of out-of-bounds walking here they have to do to get to the boss of this area, the Phosbat. They're coming up on stream here, and it's very easy to fall out of bounds and respawn in this stream, so you have to be a little careful through this section. And it looks like they both made it. Excellent. So now in the Phosbat fight, we need to... we actually need 10 yellows, but we only grew 5 at the beginning of the day. So we're gonna have to turn 5 reds into yellows. Luckily there's a tone pot bud perfectly placed right where we need it. And we're gonna use our yellows to light up the area and stun the Phosbat. And ideally our runners will be able to 2-cycle. Depending on the exact timing you charge your Pikmin, you could do more or less damage, so that's why you see them sort of waiting around a little bit. They're trying to time that perfect spot in the animation. And that's it for day 3. So next up is day 4, and it's gonna look pretty similar. There's another skip that gets you straight to the boss of day 4. But this is a little different. This is what we call Captain Clip. So in specific corners, you're actually able to pick up and whistle to set down a captain, and if you do it just right, you can actually set them down out of bounds. It's very precise. Let's see how our runners will do with this. It's very possible to miss this a few times and lose quite a bit of time. Since it's very precise. Jay having a bit of trouble. Ronald seems to get it, like first or second try. So Ronald's pulling back ahead by about 5 seconds, it looks like. And now they're heading into the Mirror Slug fight. So in this fight, the Mirror Slug was underground and he'll come up to attack you. There's two different attacks he can do. He can sort of make a sinkhole to try to suck your Pikmin into him, or he can pop all the way out and shoot rocks at you. So the first cycle he's always going to go low. And then the second cycle he's always going to pop up. So on normal mode, which is what all runners are playing on, this fight is always going to be a 3-cycle fight. If they were playing on hard, all the bosses would have twice as much health, and it would generally be more like a 5-cycle, unless you use bomb rocks to speed it up. And it looks like our runners are going to be trying to feed it bomb rocks on the 3rd cycle to make sure to kill it just that little bit faster. So just like on day 2, we got this phone to carry back, and as long as the phone doesn't get stopped anywhere, it's there's nothing you can really do to speed up this day anymore. But we do still have a couple things to take care of. We need to collect this fruit. There's a big fruit right here that is worth 2.5 bottles of juice, so that'll be all that our runners will need for the rest of the game. And then we need to blow up this wall as well to basically just to get a shortcut to get the phone back that little bit quicker. And it looks like Jay dealt with that stuff a little bit quicker. But as we saw, Ronald did get the phone moving a little bit quicker, so his phone will get back first, and he will be our first one to end day 4. Looks like Ronald's ahead by about 10 seconds, so considering how late into the run, this is a very close race so far. But day 5 coming up is the most involved day of the run, so there's a lot of potential time save, time loss coming up. Unfortunately, on day 5, we're not able to simply do one quick out of bounds and skip straight to the boss. So there's a little bit more going on here. So right at the beginning of this day, we got another captain clip we gotta do that will bring us straight to the wing Pikmin. And our wing Pikmin will be very important throughout the run. Our runners will likely be opting to grow 17 of them. You could grow a little bit more for safety, but it is fastest to grow 17. You need to throw some rocks across the river to free the onion. And then, just like the beginning of day 2, there's a lot of multitasking going on here with growing our Pikmin with Brittany and advancing towards the back area with our other captains. So depending on how cleanly they do this section, there's plenty of room for the lead to change in this section here, in this day as a whole, I suppose. So yeah, the first big thing they have to do is pull up this dam, and this will let the right side of the river start flowing. And that is what will let us go to the back area. We need to get on one of those lily pads. This lily pad that Ronald just jumped on. Now, if you thought we were done with out-of-bounds tricks on day 5, don't worry, we're not done yet. There's one more out-of-bounds trick here. So this one's a little different than all the other tricks in the game, actually. We're actually going to use a fruit. We're gonna move it out of its little alcove, and we're actually going to toss captains on top of it, and then from there use that extra height of standing on it to throw them up out of bounds. So Ronald's the first to the fruit. Jay not far behind. Both pretty much nailed that trick. First try from both, very nice to see. One thing I neglected to mention, when they first came to this area, there was a plant that they threw some Pikmin at. That is a spicy plant, which grows spicy berries. And what those will do for our runners is when you collect 10 of them, it gives you a spicy spray. And that powers up your Pikmin, flowers them all, and makes them a lot stronger for about, I believe it's 40 seconds. And they will, ideally will use that in this fight here. We'll see the first use of the spicy spray if we can get it in time. Runners are killing some of these scornets because if you kill 18 to 20 of them, it will speed up the second cycle significantly. So with the Scornet dead, there's one last trick on day 5, and it's probably the most infamous trick in the entire run, Louis Clip. So there's an invisible wall blocking Louis' path back to the ship, so we have to clip him through the invisible wall, and this can be notoriously difficult, very finicky trick. Let's see how our runners will do with it. Ronald seems to have a little trouble not getting it instantly here. Jay looks like he's really Both having a little bit of trouble. Jay gets it pretty quickly, though. Ronald's still working on Louis Clip. Yeah, as I said, this trick is not easy. It's very, it's known for killing a lot of runs. Come on, get him down there. Oh, this is very rough for Ronald. And he got it. Alright. Jay already at the end of the day, though, so Jay pulled ahead by quite a bit. It is gonna be tough for Ronald to catch up at this point, but there's still time. Yes, let me switch the audio over to Jay. Alright, so coming up on day 6 is gonna be another pretty quick day. You'll notice a lot of days in this run are pretty much just you clip to the boss, you fight the boss, you bring the thing back to the ship. So we got another day like that coming up. We just got a simple captain clip up to the boss. There's actually recently a slight strategy change on this day where we're actually going to be building the bridge to allow Louis to come back quicker instead of what we used to always do was transfer him over to wing Pikmin so that the wing Pikmin can fly over the unfinished bridge. But that's slow, so if we can build the bridge, it will be a lot faster. Yeah, so because of the yellow onion skip from earlier, there's a bit of weird menuing in the onion now because we got the onions in unexpected order. I don't actually know all the intricacies of that myself, but there are some weird things with the onion menus because of yellow onion skip. So we don't really need blue Pikmin for anything in the run, but we do need to collect them because plucking our first blue Pikmin actually gets rid of an invisible wall that leads to this boss fight. So if we don't get the blue Pikmin, we can't go on to this boss fight. And so in this boss fight, first we have to attack his feet to knock him off balance and break this crystal. And then that'll start the second phase, which will be pretty similar. We gotta knock down his feet, and then this time we're able to directly do damage to him. Normally what's supposed to happen is he has a damage cap at about 3/8 of his health, but if you attack him in just the right way, the damage cap actually goes away and we are able to kill him in one cycle. And Jay has a beautiful fight. Let's see if Ronald can match that. So while Louis is coming back here, Jay is going to be building the bridge. He's set wing Pikmin in this dirt pile to get the bridge pieces out of the ground. And Ideally, we'll finish the bridge before Louis gets to it. Looks like Ronald had a little bit slower of a fight, but still managed to get the one cycle. Probably only lost a second or two to that fight, compared to Jay. Alright, and Jay, finishing up day 6, moving on to the final day of our run. Now, day 7 is really different from the rest of the run. It starts off with essentially an escort mission. We have to carry Olimar out of this maze, basically. So the Pikmin don't really know where to go. And the way it works is they will automatically follow Brittany specifically. So we're able to do, if we have them carried with wing Pikmin, there's actually some shenanigans we can do to skip some stuff. And this area was designed to be able to be done not all at once, so like you're able to do some stuff, open up a shortcut that'll sort of get you back to where you were quicker, and runners are going to be able to take advantage of that and actually open up these shortcuts from below, so from an unintended way, and able to skip certain sections of this area. Yeah, so you can still get through this area in one day without glitches, but it's of course a lot faster if you do. We're actually able to skip significant portions of this day. This area, I guess I should say. So the first thing is this bag here. Normally you're supposed to only be able to push it from above, but you can just charge at it with wing Pikmin and push it down from below like that without too much trouble. So now Jay is separating his Pikmin out. So what he's going to be doing is breaking down this wall with Charlie, and those Pikmin will be collecting bombs for the boss fight. This was another strat that was introduced into the run quite recently. Using bombs on the boss fight, it's able to save a lot of time on the fight. There's 7 bombs that you could get. There's 2 sections of bombs, so you can. There's a section with 3 and a section with 4. yeah, Jay is pretty ahead right now, but it's still not over. If the boss fight goes poorly for Jay, Ronald still could catch up, potentially. We'll have to see. So it looks like Jay is opting to go for all 7 bombs. So now, in this last room, there's this out-of-bounds section here. You can just sort of walk up the route and up out of bounds. And your wing Pikmin will fly Olimar up to you. The reason they switch over to carrying it with reds is because grounded Pikmin carry faster than wing Pikmin. So, looks like Jay is almost out and ready to start the final fight. See how it goes. These 7 bombs should be doing a lot of damage to the boss. Ideally, he'll be just about dead when those bombs all go off. But damage to the boss isn't permanent. It just knocks a bunch of goop on the ground, and he can still suck it back up. So if Jay has the boss suck up a bunch of goop, he could heal a lot. But it looks like Jay has a really solid fight, and Jay wins the race. Congratulations, Jay. And Ronald just about to start the boss fight himself. And there we have it. Very nice runs from both of our runners here. Very close race, pretty much decided just by Louis Clip. Alright, let's see if we can get our runners in here for interview. Let me see here.
Yo,
Yo.
Hello.
we're here.
Really nice race, guys.
Yeah, I had the stream open the whole time, and me and Ron were like tied the entire thing, apart from Louis clip.
Oh, I haven't watched the stream. I have no idea how I was like pace-wise toward
Yeah,
Me and
other than Louis clip, it looks like you guys were pretty much dead even the whole time.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were-
sick.
we were right next to each other. You were ahead of me until the very end of day 2.
Yeah, the Omelet mod bullied me on day 2. He decided
then-
that today was
I
not
think
the
you then
day.
pulled ahead of me out of day 3 as well, and then
Oh, dang.
we just kind of kept trading.
So
yeah, you
sick.
kept
I'll have
going
to
back and
rewatch
forth.
the
That was a
I'll
great
have to
race to
rewatch
watch.
the race.
GG's once again.
Yeah, GG's.
Yeah. Congratulations, Jay. Moving on in the winner's bracket.
Who's my next opponent? I wonder.
I think it's Claire's.
Let
Oh.
me take a look at the. Yep. So
Oh.
Jay will be up against Claris next,
had a good
and Ronald, you will be. Let's see, who's your baby?
I think I'm up against
Ron will
Anthony
be
next.
up against Anthony.
Right.
Now, I don't believe we have any more races scheduled yet, but
Oh, Claris is asking when we want to do our race. So soon enough we'll have one
hopefully-
scheduled.
hopefully we'll have some races scheduled for you this weekend or next week.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, guys, before we
No,
stop the stream?
not
here?
really.
41 in a race is sick, so GG's on getting a 41.
Yeah, I'm actually very happy with that race time. Very nice. That's like a little bit off Jayhawk, which is pretty good. What he got in his race, I mean. See you guys next race.
Alright.
Then.
We will see you guys at the next race, and thank you all for watching.
Bye, everybody.